We are recording, so awesome.
So the scenario, if I remember, that we came up with was that we're teaching a math lesson, and one of the students has just lashes out in anger, and we don't really know why, but it has something to do with just emotional, just emotional behavior. I don't know what we called it.
We talked about like anger management, kind of. Yeah, a student that just has some difficulty controlling themselves in class, and just a lot of anger.
I think it's an emotional imbalance.
Yeah. All right. And then actually on the document that we had, I think we did a couple of different scenarios, but one of them we wrote was about like the student getting in a fight with another student, and the situation is unclear to the teacher because like the student doesn't speak English well. And so that was one of the scenarios that we
Yeah. I think we also talked about celebrating different holidays and students not understanding them.
Yeah. So we kind of decided on the final scenario to go with the child who had some emotional imbalances and some anger management. And we chose like a math class setting, right? I think it was like elementary, right? And just simple addition lesson.
First grade, simple addition.
And so we're in the lesson, and just one of the kids, you know, we're not sure if he just got frustrated or what, but he gets angry and starts lashing out.
I think from the document we wrote that his pencil broke, so he got mad.
I remember that, yeah. So we just talked about like immediately, like for immediate action, we would want to just, you know, calm the student down, kind of take him out, remove him from the situation, and use like breathing technique kind of things to just calm him down.
And I think we also talked about how like we would explain to like the students, as well as like the one that was lashing out with the anger problems, about different emotions and how different people handle different emotions, and that that's normal for people to feel that way, things like that.
I think we talked about even trying to relate it to Inside Out, because that would like catch their attention and they're able to relate to it a little bit better because they have like they're younger, so they like Disney movies, so they've probably seen it. So we could like talk about how there's those different emotions and we all feel them. And then we ask them different questions on them, things happen to them.
Yeah, I think also in this situation, obviously you have to communicate with their parents about what happened, and so if you know that they have the emotional imbalance or that they have anger management issues or whatever they have, their parents are probably most likely aware of it already, and so it's just important to communicate with them on what they're doing at home and to handle the situation and what you guys can do together to put a plan in place when things like that do happen. So you should already, towards the beginning of the year, be working on a plan to handle a situation like that, but just to keep the parents updated on what's going on in the classroom and get their feedback on it as well.
That's probably pretty important because you don't want to confuse the child, even if they already have things they're doing at home, but then you do other things. probably helps them if they do have that emotional imbalance to like have a set like thing they're doing, and you know like it's gonna work.
And working with whatever school counselor is appropriate too, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, was there anything else you want to talk about? No, we created the document. We wrote everything out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we already mentioned it, but I think we also talked about how like we would separate the kid from the rest of the group, like take them away from the situation. That's the only other thing that I think we didn't talk about, but.
I think when we do that also, just to go a little bit more in depth, is if you take the child out of the room, you have to make sure that the students are in the classroom are doing something that they are able to regulate themselves, and maybe to have another adult in the room, like monitoring them, and then when the child is calm, maybe just keep the child out there doing whatever exercise they need to do to calm themselves, and then you go in the classroom and explain what happened to the students and talk about it with them, and then bring the student back in the classroom.
Yeah, because you don't want the child to feel like embarrassed or anything either. You want them to be comfortable in the classroom.
Well, and that could cause even more anger as well if they're feeling embarrassed, or like make them more frustrated because they feel like they're drawing like a certain amount of attention to them that maybe they didn't want or something like that. And it just causes more problems if you're not trying to calm them down and help them not feel as embarrassed.
Didn't we talk about using visuals too? I think along with the Inside Out, we talked about maybe just using different like emotion images.
I think originally, because we thought we had to do a lesson plan on the issue itself, so we were saying what you could do after something like that happens to plan a lesson explaining different emotions to the students, in which we would use Inside Out clips, and then also ask the other students how they react in different situations, just to show that different people react in different ways. And then we could show visuals and pictures or whatever, just to help them understand how differently people express their emotions and how we need to react to that.
I think we also talked about how everyone does feel those different emotions and react differently, but it's also important to respect other people and how they're maybe be their friend, or just be like nice, like even nicer to them.
Yeah, because we talked about, I know we talked about like the other students kind of talking, once the kid gets taken out, like talking bad about the kid and stuff. And so that was kind of why we had to really address it with the whole class, to make sure that, that child wasn't being excluded or stigmatized or
bullied or something. Yeah,
that everyone was unified and was not, I don't know, that we eased the conflict, made sure it didn't just get worse because of the situation. So okay,
that's everything. Anything else?
I think we're good. That's all. Yeah.
So, a certain amount of time, or are we good?
I think we're good. I mean, originally, I think we went longer just because we talked more about the different scenarios, but.
Well, also, I think we kept talking about, because we were confused about the assignments, so.
Yeah. I think we got it now, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, okay, cool.